Hi, this is Sue McNamara, the Director of Finance for St. Stephen, and I apologize if I look a little slobby, but it is what it is. I wanted to talk to you because we're getting ready to formulate our mission plan for the coming year, and I wanted to emphasize to all of you the importance of stewardship and getting a pledge in. If you look at the bulletin each week, you'll notice we show a pretty tremendous shortfall. Those of you who were at the annual meeting know that we had hoped to have a revenue stream that hasn't actually materialized, either from income from tenants or from additional giving from members. We have asked the formula of the 113 households or giving units in the church. We had figured that if each household were able to give $50 a week, we would be able to sustain our budget. The reality is that a few households are able to give more than that, but many households have been donating much less. And we have close to a fourth of the households at our church have given no contributions for the current year. And people sometimes are confused as to what happens when we have a shortfall. Generally, we have to carry the deficit forward into the coming year, which means that the mission plan for the coming year will be even much tighter. But eventually we reach the point where we aren't able to make salary payments, the pastor's check will bounce. We won't be able to pay our utilities. Some people are under the mistaken impression that we get money from the synod, but the reality is the synod counts on contributions from us for their missional purposes. And last year we really had to cut back on what pastor's salary should be, her pension. We had to cut back our giving to the synod. We totally cut out our giving for benevolences. There were a number of places where we really slashed the budget, and we still are showing a tremendous shortfall. As we go into next year's mission plan, we're facing those same dilemmas, and I'd like to ask for your help. What can we do? We have to get our church appraised. That's a new expense. We really do need to bring pastor's salary up to synod guidelines if we can. There are some improvements we need to make here at the church. There are some safety bars that need to go on some of the doors and some other things to bring us up to code. Plus just the little repairs and maintenance that we have to do to keep our church looking and operating smoothly. We want to expand our children's program. We need to buy new materials for Sunday school and for our Bible school programs. We need your help. We encourage you to thoughtfully consider what you can give. There are many families who only give $1 or $2 a week. And if you look at if you heard Pastor's sermon from a couple weeks ago, the parable of the woman who only gave a couple of coins, yet her gift was more valuable than the rich Pharisees who gave a small fortune, because the percentage of what she was giving was so much greater. And I would ask that you look and see if $1 or $2 a week is the best you can do, then bless you for giving that amount. But if you can, in fact, look at a way that you could potentially contribute more, I'd encourage you to do that. We'd also like your ideas for ways that we could potentially save money. And there are ways that you can make contributions to the church other than monetarily. There are lots of people who volunteer their time, their expertise. There are people who have given things to the church that we are able to use so we don't have to spend the money to get them. Some people might have ideas for ways that we can generate revenue that we haven't thought of. So please, I invite everybody into the creative process for our mission planning. One thing that we have talked about, and it's getting slowly off the ground, is a mission endowment fund. The analogy that I will use is a story from when my daughter was little. We have a relative who, for the purposes of the story, will be Uncle Bob. And when he would come to visit, he would always offer Michelle her choice between a nickel or a dime. And she would always take the nickel because it was bigger. And Uncle Bob kind of got a charge out of fooling Michelle. And he would play this game with her every time he would come. And by the time she was 4, I knew she knew that the dime was worth more. And I took her aside and I said, why do you always take the nickel when you know that the dime is worth more? And she said, Mom, the day I take the dime is the day Uncle Bob stops playing this game. And it's the same principle with the Mission Endowment Fund. It's a way to keep that revenue stream coming. You make a donation, you can either make a direct donation, you can leave a bequest for St. Stephen, you can list St. Stephen as a beneficiary for a life insurance policy. There are all kinds of ways that you can make a donation to the Mission Endowment Fund, and then we can use that fund for missional purposes, only using a part of the interest while we keep the principal generating a revenue stream year after year. As you are considering making your pledge for the coming year, I do want you to think of ways that you can help us to either increase our revenue stream or cut our expenses, because we are a self-sustaining body and our mission is to do God's work. Thank you.